everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Divorced Woman's Guide podcast. How are you guys doing today? Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode that comes out every single week. And if you haven't purchased or checked out my book yet called Divorce Sucks Now What, be sure to do so. And you can purchase it on paperback or on Kindle on Amazon.com. So today's episode is going to talk a little bit about two things: the power of positive thinking and how that contributes to attracting abundance in your life after divorce. So positive thinking has the power to transform your life. I don't care what your current circumstances are. Reframing and shifting the way that you think is going to have major impact in your life. So I'm fascinated by the world of quantum physics. And according to quantum physics, everything around us is energy. In fact, we're made up of 80% of energy because 80% of us is made up of water. So everything is energy, and energy carries with it a certain frequency and or a vibration. And so if you are thinking happy, positive thoughts, you are going to attract people, events, circumstances that have that same frequency. So in other words, positive thoughts attract positive energy. And on the flip side, negative thoughts attract negative energy. So this concept of like attracts like implies that you actually have the power to control what happens in your life. Now, some of you guys may be going, Wendy, that is really far out there, but I'm telling you that it is so incredibly true. I do this on a daily basis, and I help my clients to see the power of this on a daily basis as well. So if you are somebody who is constantly in negative self-talk, you are not going to be attracting that. You're going to be attracting all the things that you don't want in your life. So just try today to think positively and stay optimistic and see what happens. See what the shifts are that happen in your life, because through the power of positive thinking, you're actually able to manifest positivity in your reality. So even though in theory, this probably sounds simple, but yet impossible, what we do on a daily basis is we let our negative thoughts run the show. And we live a life that many times we're just not satisfied with. And this is because we doubt the power of our own mind and how it is that our minds actually influence our reality. And so once we fully understand and truly believe in our own power and ability to create our reality, then guess what? Positive thinking is going to come out of that. So one of the things that I do on a very daily basis is I use visualizations to help achieve where it is that I want to go, what it is that I want to create in my life. And I see it as though it has already happened. And I take action from a mental and physical place as though it already has. So you guys have heard of the universal law of attraction, right? So according to that, the kind of thoughts and attitudes that you have are going to attract events that are going to make those things become a reality. So therefore, if you think positive thoughts, you're going to attract positive energy, positive events, positive people. And the reverse happens if you are thinking negatively. So what are some ways that you can start noticing, what are some ways that you can start improving your positive thinking? Well, one of those ways is starting to pay attention to your thoughts, right? Get out of autopilot and start being present, being conscious to what it is that you are thinking and seeing and saying, because you are creating that reality. So if you're noticing that your thoughts are negative, well, what's the positive spin on that? Well, that comes in the form of positive self-talk. Perhaps it's also in practicing gratitude. I talked about this in another episode of how important gratitude is, right? Positive thinking has an impact in your life, but it also impacts your physical and mental well-being. So when you're thinking more positively, you actually are better able to cope with stress. You are also able to cope with overwhelm, you are also able to see happiness and joy in your life, and you feel better, right? Your head isn't so heavy all the time. You don't get those headaches. You don't feel that overwhelm. And so when we're in that positive outlook place, we also start creating a life for ourselves where we are taking care of ourselves, right? Increased health and wellness, where you are perhaps exercising more, eating healthy, getting rest. And so if you're somebody who's going, this is great, Wendy, but this doesn't come naturally to me. Well, let me just share with you that there are a couple of ways that you can start creating more affirmative thoughts and minimize that negative self-talk. So here's the glass that I want you guys to drink from, and that's the glass of half full. So positive thinkers are able to cope more effectively than if we have pessimistic thoughts. So rather than dwelling on what is frustrating you or focusing on the things that you cannot change, what you get to do instead is think about what is it that you do actually have control over and create a plan of action based on that, instead of continuing to try to control others or things out of your control, because what that's going to do, it's going to keep you in that negative spiral. Well, positive thinking can also help you in the wellness areas I talked about before. And so what happens with your body is that you're actually not creating sickness or illness within your body. It doesn't allow you to seep into that place of depression. And so your health and well-being plays a really crucial role in your thoughts, because when you're in that negative place, you're not taking care of yourself. And I've been there, and it's not a fun place to be. And finally, what positive thinking does is it actually builds resilience, which is something you need as you're going through divorce, right? It really refers to our ability to cope with stress, to cope with problems that are coming up. And so when we build our resiliency, what we're able to do is actually deal with what's coming at us with strength and resolve. We don't just fall apart at the seams because, something isn't going our way. What we end up using from resilience is our ability to tackle anything that comes our way. It also helps build our hope up, right? Now, listen, resilience is something that can be cultivated, okay? You don't have to have been, say to yourself like, oh, that's a far-fetched. Well, that's totally fine. It's something that can be cultivated. So by nurturing positive thoughts, what you're actually building is that resilience within you it's going to serve you down the road. So think about how it is that you can make the best of what it is that you are going through that may feel bad. I'm using air quotation marks, right? How you can make the most in these quote unquote bad situations. Because listen, at the end of the day, bad things happen, period. Okay. You may want to add on a to me. No, bad things happen, period. And sometimes that means that you're going to feel disappointed. You're going to get hurt. Things aren't going to go your way. But I'm here to tell you, it does not mean that the world is out to get you, or that everyone in your life is going to let you down, or that, the opposite sex or the same sex is constantly going to be out to get you, and that you're never going to want to trust that person again. Well, that's a pretty shitty way to live. And while I felt that way at one point in time, I'm so glad that I chose to shift my thinking, because when you are able to see things from a more realistic standpoint, right? You're looking at things through somewhat foggy glasses as you're going through divorce. But when you look at something more realistically, right, you get present to what it is. What you then are able to do when you're in that positive mindset is search for ways that you can wipe the slate clean and create something new, create something that is your choice, and learn from your mistakes, learn from your experiences, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're here trying to live our best life. We're here trying to do our best on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, positive thinking is everything. Now, listen, trust me, I'm not sitting here, being Pollyanna every 2 seconds. Like, I have my bad moments. I let myself feel through it, and then I shift. I move into that positive thinking place, because I could sit here and say things happen to me, or I can say they're happening for me and seek the lesson. So that is what I'm inviting you guys to do today after you listen to this episode, or perhaps there's something that already occurred that you get to reframe in your head. So I encourage you to think positively, because that's when you will start attracting abundance, manifesting the abundance that I know that you want on the other side of your divorce. Thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. I so appreciate you spending your time with me, and I hope that you got value out of the podcast today, because with every episode, I am guiding you guys on your path to recovery and showing you that it can get easier, I promise. I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, sending you so much love, light, and joy. As always, mwah. Bye, everybody.